Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise today to address this August House on a matter at the foundation of our nation's stability and social cohesion, the future of community policing in Fiji. This statement carries a clear message. Security is not the responsibility of the Fiji police alone. It is a shared duty of every Fijian, every village, every settlement, every institution, working together to fulfill our National Development Plan vision that is empowering the people of Fiji through unity. Mr. Speaker, sir, the National Security Strategy of 2025-2029 is firm that effective security requires a whole of government and a whole of nation partnership with civil society, the private sector, academia, faith institutions, and communities working together. For community policing to succeed, Mr. Speaker, sir, it must be relevant and Fijian, shaped by our culture, diversity, identity, and aspirations. Honorable Speaker, sir, to overcome drugs, cybercrime, transnational crime, and social disorder, Fiji must strengthen national security consciousness. This is more than patriotism. It is the understanding that every Fijian is a guardian of peace, whether reporting a drug farm, protecting the children online, rejecting criminal influence, or upholding ethical behavior, and so on. When national consciousness is strong, human security becomes possible. When human security is protected, national security becomes sustainable. When both align, Fiji creates a sphere of peace, Mr. Speaker, sir. Community policing must therefore awaken civic responsibility, not just enforce the law. Honorable Speaker, sir, human security protects people, national security protects the state. Today, with cybercrime, transnational crime, and digital harm, the two are inseparable. Crime takes root where livelihoods are limited, connectivity is weak, markets are distant, youth lack opportunity. This reality is visible in Kandavu, parts of Vanuatu, some maritime islands, and other areas where marijuana farming has become an economic fallback. Mr. Speaker, sir, no policing strategy can succeed if families depend on the illegal drug economy for survival. Therefore, community policing must integrate development services across ministries, in agriculture, cash crops and agroforestry, in fisheries, sustainable harvest, youth, employment pathways, women, resilience and safety nets, trade and SMEs, rural entrepreneurship, education, prevention and digital literacy, in health, addiction treatment, policing and communication, enforcement, plus satellite connectivity. When ministries work together, communities shift from illegal to legitimate livelihoods. This is the new direction of community policing, Mr. Speaker, sir. Holistic, development-driven, culturally grounded, and built on national unity. Honorable Speaker, sir, to operationalize this approach, the Ministry of Policing and Communication and the Fiji Police Force will pilot a 20-year Kandavu Human and National Security (HNS) Peace Transformation Plan, integrating community policing, human security, economic development, and national security. This is Fiji's security development blueprint, aimed at ending marijuana cultivation by expanding legitimate income pathways. I call on all honorable ministers to align ministry program to support the Kandavu HNS Peace Plan. Every ministry holds a vital piece of this national effort. Together, we can change Kandavu public image from the land of drugs to a province of security, stability, and prosperity. Mr. Speaker, sir, Kandavu is the only beginning. Once refined, This plan will expand to Vanuatu, Taveuni, Lau, Lomaiviti, and other coastal maritime provinces. This is community policing reimagined as Fiji's national peace-building project. Honorable Speaker, sir, the security landscape has changed dramatically. Digitalization has transformed society, and criminals have adopted faster. Transnational networks now use encrypted apps, digital payments, online recruitments, and dark web channels to traffic drugs, launder money, and exploit vulnerable people. Across the Blue Pacific, transnational organized crime is now one of the most serious threats. This demands smart, connected, technology-enabled community policing, including policing in the digital space. Honorable Speaker, sir, the Nduawata community policing philosophy remains strong in supporting school patrols and awareness, blue light, cybersecurity programs, parenting without violence, maritime domain awareness, voice against violence, and restorative justice programs. These have produced positive outcomes, Mr. Speaker, sir. But today's challenges demand a new level of mobilization. The Nduawata community policing philosophy, operational models must evolve from scattered pockets of activities into a unified national movement, technology-enabled, culturally grounded, and institutionally strong, responsive to Fiji's ethnic and cultural diversity. This reform commences with the implementation of the National Security Defense Review Recommendation 2.2 on the Restore Blue pillars of 1. Building trust between the people and the Fiji Police Force, 2. Establishing human rights-based policing approach, and 3. Institutional strengthening capacity building. The Fiji Police Force to enable it perform the full extent of its legislative function effectively and efficiently. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Police Force Uplift Program, guided by the Fiji Police Force and Australian Federal Police Memorandum of Understanding on Solo-Slovaki Partnership and Police Cooperation, is moving capacity building under these pillars forward. To be effective community policing in a Tauke setting is grounding itself in the values and structures of the Vanua and chiefly systems. For Fijians of Indian descent, an appropriate model that considers respect and responsive to their culture, faith, their temples, their mosques, institutions, neighborhood associations, businesses, and so on need to be developed. For Rotuman, Banaban, Chinese, Part European, and maritime communities, an appropriate community policing model that respects their respective cultures earns trust, and trust strengthens national unity. The true measure of policing is how well it protects the vulnerable, women, youth, children, persons with disabilities, and including the LGBTQI plus community. We are aware that modern community policing must be protective, responsive, empathetic, inclusive, and empowering. Honorable Speaker, sir, Fiji now has a homegrown, culturally rooted security model. The Solo-Slovaki Neve Tangomaki Matanitu Vanua Keinalotu, CVM-CMS, launched in 2024 by the Honorable Prime Minister. The model integrates Matanitu, government, and the security agencies, the Vanua, the traditional governance, and the Lotu faith-based leadership. After the successful pilot in Kandavu, the CVM-CMS will be expanded to Lau, Taveuni, Lomaiviti, Vanuatu, and the coastal villages of Vitilevu. To operationalize this framework, the Ministry is proposing 4 police maritime forward bases and 4 patrol boats strategically located in 1. Lakemba, servicing the Lau Group, 2. Levuka for the Lomaiviti and Central Waters, 3. Sabu-Sabu for Vanuatu and nearby maritime zones, and Denarau for the Mamanuca, Yasao, and Western Maritime Corridors. These assets will strengthen community policing across the islands and the 2 main island coasts while securing Fiji's vast territorial maritime domain. Honorable Speaker, sir, I respectfully request the support of this August House and that of our international partners towards this maritime expansion. At this point, I wish to acknowledge the British government through UNDP for funding the development of CMS model, its piloting and MSEF training, which has empowered over 500 women, men, and youths in Kandahar to earn the boat master license and the restricted master engineer class 6 license. I also thank the government of Japan and the Australian Border Control Officers and Federal Police for their continued assistance in the Border Control Officers training, maritime security, and police capability development that support and strengthens both security of our coastal communities and national security. Mr. Speaker, sir, digitalization is now central to policing, with satellite connectivity, including Starlink, through licensed providers. Rural and maritime communities would finally become real-time yearly warning systems, reporters of suspicious vessels and drug drop-offs, and last but not least, active partners in national security. Connectivity is a strategic investment in both human and national security, Mr. Speaker, sir. The communications portfolio now under our ministry allows us to fully integrate policing, digital transformation, and maritime vigilance, cyber safety, and community resilience into one unified whole-of-nation security strategy. Speaking on community, Mr. Speaker, sir, community policing and public order, a core role of the ministry is to maintain order not by force, but by trust, vigilance, and partnership. Community policing helps communities identify early warning signs, prevent rumors and tensions, de-escalate conflict, strengthen confidence in police, and prepare for emergencies. It is Fiji's first seal in times of uncertainty. To conclude, Honourable Speaker, sir, no nation becomes secure through force alone. No community becomes safe through policing alone. And no society becomes peaceful by accident. Security is achieved when people stand together. I acknowledge the traditional leaders of all our ethnic communities and our faith-based organizations for their vital role in guiding our young people away from crime and towards responsibility. I thank the Mboselewa Turanga and traditional leaders in all provinces for their steadfast support to community policing and national unity. I respectfully ask for their continued leadership in mobilizing Itaukei communities across Fiji to stand with the police, strengthen vigilance, and protect our young people from marijuana cultivation, illicit drugs, and other emerging crimes. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank our international partners, including the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, the European Union, India, Indonesia, France, South Korea, UNDP, UNODC, NGOs, and civil society for their continuing support in strengthening policing, communication, and national resilience. Together, we can secure our communities and safeguard our people. Together, we can build a Fiji where peace is protected, lived, and guaranteed. May God bless Fiji.